Hey, 30-06 John here, and today what I'm working on is loads for my 450 Marlin using 400 grain jacketed bullets and a new powder. Yeah, I've had this 450 Marlin for a long time, 20 years. I've shot a few black-tailed deer with it. Been a good rifle. Now my normal loads for the 450 Marlin using 400 grain bullets, I use H322. That's out of the Spear reloading manual. Been a good load, and I've used it for many years. But I'm trying to get more velocity, so I'm going to be trying a new powder. So looking at the Spear reloading manual, they do show Hodgdon H322, which is what I use for 400 grain bullets. But they show some newer powders. They show Alliant AR Comp and Alliant Power Pro 1200R. And on these powders, you get about 150 feet more faster velocities than with H322. So I'm going to try these powders. I don't have AR Comp, but I do have Power Pro 1200R, so that's the powder I'm going to be trying today. I actually tried this powder last March. I used 52 grains and 50 grains. The velocities I got were not really any different than H322. I used CCI large rifle primers. I've had a little bit of issues of those in the past on various other calibers, not giving me the best performance. So today I'm going to be using a different primer. So our components for today, our brass is going to be brass I've had probably 20 years. I bought this brass when I bought the rifle, reloaded it numerous times, still seems to be working fine. I've had very few crack cases or anything with this brass. It's been tumbled. For bullets, I'm using Remington 405 grain jacketed soft points. I can't find these bullets anymore. I wish I could. They're a good bullet for the price. But I do have about 100 left, so that's what I'm going to be using. For powder, we're going to be using Alliant Power Pro 1200R. For primers today, instead of the CCI large rifle, I'm going to be using these old Federal large rifle bench rest primers that I had. Let's see how those work. So here's a couple of my first reloads here. Once again, you have to make sure the primer's below flush there. Nice roll crimp. One thing about this bullet, you can't crimp it in the cannula. It makes the load too long. So you crimp it right at that little step groove right there. It's a little different, but it works fine. I've been using it that way for many years in the 450 Marlin. Also, I'm using this Hornady 450 Marlin die set. This is the original die set I bought 20 years ago. It is a 3-die set, not a 4-die set. So when you seat the bullet, you have to seat it with a crimp. It's not too hard to do. I prefer to have a separate die for that, but seems to work fine. The instructions that come with the die set, they do have how to seat with a crimp. Not hard to do, but you do have to review that because you do want a good roll crimp on your loads. And we are seating to an overall length of 2.515. And yep, that's where we're at right there. Looks good. Let me finish up more loads here and we'll head to the range. Pretty hot loads. Working good. All right. We're shooting at 25 yards. These are really bare loads, so I only shoot these out to 25 yards. 450 Marlin. Temperature was about 23 degrees Fahrenheit. My load was the 405 Remington jacketed soft point, 53 grains of 1200R powder, using the Federal 210M primer. Our cartridge overall length was 2.515 inches. 25 yards, shot nice group. It should be almost all touching. Our velocity was a very fast 1,875 feet per second. Our extreme spread was 28 feet per second. This is the type of velocity gain I was expecting when I did this a year ago. Usually my loads are going about 1,800, so looks like I've gotten 75 feet per second more using this powder. The big difference was using a Federal primer. All right, let's check the lower group. Let me just zoom this right on here. There we go. Now this load is the same thing, except I use 53.5 grains of 1200R powder. The velocity average was 1,883 feet per second. That's about 13 feet per second faster than the other load. My extreme spread was 27. That's still pretty good. Group size was about the same. So both of these loads, upper load here and the lower load, is what I was looking for. Using the Federal 210 primer made a big difference as opposed to the CCI primer, in my judgment. If you like this type of content, please subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't already, and please hit the like button. It looks like it's a good combination using the Federal primers and the Alliant 1200R powder. Anyhow, that's all that I have for today. Hey everyone, thanks for watching. Everyone have a nice day and stay safe.